Hey everybody, this is David, and today I'm going to be talking about Disney's newest live action remake, Beauty and the Beast. I just got to see this last night, so I'm really happy about finally talking about it. The Disney live action remakes to me had a rough start, but beginning with Cinderella and then last year's The Jungle Book, they've been having some great success. Even Pete's Dragon wasn't too bad, if you want to count that into it. There was some animation in that movie, so um, I will say that this movie was really enjoyable. Let's start off with these characters. We got Emma Watson as Belle, who I thought was really good. Was she the best choice that they picked? I don't know because I haven't seen other people audition for the role, but from what I seen from her in this movie, I thought she was great. I really like Dan Stevens as the Beast. I thought they handled him really well, especially deepening his voice when he was the Beast. And obviously, when he turns into the Prince, I think a lot of women will like that, and or anybody that finds him attractive. One actor that I was kind of worried about was Lumiere, Ewan McGregor as the voice of Lumiere, and when I first heard about the casting, I was really excited about it. But then when I first heard the trailers and his voice popped in, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this voice. But then as soon as you see the first scene or you hear the first scene he's in, I think he won me over pretty quickly, and I quickly forgot about my worries for him, especially his banter with Ian McKellen's Cogsworth. I thought they had good chemistry going on there between the two that they should have because Cogsworth and Lumiere spend a lot of time together, both in the animated movie and in this version. Emma Thompson as Mrs. Potts is just perfect. Luke Evans really surprised me because I like Luke Evans as an actor, but Gaston as a character, he always felt to me like one of my least favorite Disney villains. And I'll admit, I think they actually added some things for him in this movie that really made me hate Gaston. So I actually think Gaston's credibility went up a little bit more for me thanks to this movie. Very similar to Shere Khan. Shere Khan was a villain that I didn't like originally. I didn't care much for him in the original Jungle Book movie, and then the live action film really put him up there for me as one of my all-time favorite Disney villains. The same is said here with Gaston. And Josh Gad as LeFou is really great. All the actors are really great. Kevin Kline, surprisingly, as Maurice. I didn't think Maurice would be that interesting because in the original animated film, he's kind of a little buffoon that you can easily twist. But in this movie, you actually feel for Kevin Kline's Maurice character, Belle's father. There are times where he's a little bit more of a stronger character, and there were times I was like, I wish they gave him a little bit more screen time because I could have watched a little bit more of him. I thought he was really nice and enjoyable to watch. I will say that the songs in the movie, all the songs are really good. We got a lot of all the returning ones, obviously. I was kind of hoping for Human again, that they added in one of the special editions of Beauty and the Beast, because I really like that song, and I know it was from the Broadway play too, but they didn't add any of the songs from the Broadway play this time. But I did like some of the newer songs as well, specifically Evermore. I think fans of Beauty and the Beast will enjoy this one as a new song to this new film. I think it really suits it nicely. Definitely feels like classic Disney music. There is a problem with some of the songs, though. Not the songs themselves, but how they're placed in the movie. I did feel at times there were specifically two songs. I don't think this is a spoiler, so it doesn't affect the story or anything, but during Be Our Guest and Something There, the way the two songs end, they cut to black. And then the scene that follows it feels like, okay, now we're back to the story. Like they take place maybe like an hour later or something like that. That's how I felt. And it kind of took me out of it. I'm going to admit that. When they cut to black on those two songs, after the songs were done, it was like, okay, here's the song. Now we're back to the story, and it kind of took me out of it a little bit. I'm going to admit that. I love that those songs were there, specifically "Be Our Guest," because "Be Our Guest" is my favorite song from the original animated film. But yeah, it took me out of it a little bit. There was a lot more added stuff to the film, and there were some scenes from the original animated film that felt reshuffled. Because I've watched the animated film many times in my past, and I just saw it again recently, like maybe a month ago. And so when watching this movie, there were some scenes that came before, when in the animated film they came after certain events and certain scenes, and some scenes that came place after that came place before. I hope that makes sense. There was some shuffling around in the scenes, and it felt like they were trying too hard to change things up, to make it different, when I felt they didn't need to make those changes. Some of those changes, like some of the added things that I thought was great. I don't want to spoil anything, but the Enchantress gets a slightly promotion in this movie. I'm gonna say that. Hopefully that's not a spoiler. Which I actually thought was really good, especially when it came later on, when it came back later on. I thought all of that worked really well. There was more detail in why, the servants were transformed as well. There was a little bit more backstory on the Beast, a little bit more backstory on Belle that I really enjoyed, that I really appreciated and liked. It was just the reshuffling did not make sense to me. Was it to fit the new scenes? I don't know. And I think that's what also kind of hurt the songs. I think because some of those scenes were reshuffled, because some of those could have been helped to ease into the next scene. That's why some of the songs felt they ended abruptly, I guess. But other than that, I thought everything else was great about this film. This definitely brings back a lot of great memories about the original film, and I think a lot of people will really enjoy it, especially if you are a fan of that original film. As long as you go in knowing this might not be as good as the original film. That's how I felt. I felt at the end of the day, this movie, even though it was enjoyable, really good, I still enjoyed it. I'll still probably watch it again later on, because I love having these live-action Disney marathons. Sometimes I even watch them with the animated movies, too. So I'll watch the animated movie first, then I'll watch the live-action one second. But, yeah, it's not as good as the original animated film. I'm going to put it like that. I am giving this movie an 8 out of 10. I thought I'll recommend it, and I think I'm gonna end this here, guys. Go check this movie out. I don't think you'll be disappointed unless you really get too emotionally attached to the original animated film. But if you are willing to judge this movie for what it is, I think it's a fair film that fares well, much better than obviously the terrible adaptions Disney has done of their live action remakes, such as Maleficent and Alice in Wonderland. I don't think it's as good as The Jungle Book, and I think I even put Cinderella slightly above it, but it's around there, around Cinderella. Cinderella's how well that movie was made. So I recommend it. So with that being said, guys, like this video, comment below if you've seen this movie, tell me what your thoughts are on it. Everybody has different opinions, so I'm sure some of you will differ on this, and try to comment at me back at why you didn't like the film, or why you did like the film. What did I leave out that I should have talked about? And like this video, subscribe to my channel, and until next time, guys, take care.